Good evening, welcome to RCCG Kwara 3 online tutorial class. My name is Owonibika Odefit, and I'm going to be taking the subject economics. Tonight, we're going to be beginning with the basic economic concepts, and we want to do a refresher of all that you guys have learned. We want to believe that you have learned one or two things from the concept of economics, but we want to start from the basics so that you can have a foreknowledge and also a reminder of that which you have learned before. So basically, we want to start with the basic economic concept. All right, and a very quick one. We want to begin with the concept of scarcity. And scarcity by definition, it refers to the fundamental economic problem arising from the fact that resources, including time, money, and raw materials, are limited or finite. Finite, F-I-N-I-T-E, finite. It means it's not infinite, meaning it's not that readily available. So from the concept of scarcity, it means that resources are limited and not unlimited. Limited and not unlimited. So scarcity is one of the major reasons, one of the major concepts in economics, and one of the basic concepts of economics. And the concept of scarcity is central to understanding the necessity of decision making, because of the fact that we understand that there is scarcity of resources and there is scarcity of goods and services along the lines. It also helps control our decision making, or probably also our trade-off and the allocation of resources in an economic system. So scarcity, the understanding of scarcity would help us to make some specific decisions, some in the aspect of trading, in the aspect of allocating resources. When you understand that there is scarcity of that which you want, when you know that there is something that is not available, what you need is not readily or so much available, you will learn to manage that which you have. That's why in the concept of economics, they talk that the economics are misers. No, they are not misers. They're actually learning how to take care of allocating using the readily available resources, not sufficient resources to satisfy several aspects. Also, quickly, we want to run to the next point, which is opportunity cost. Opportunity cost. That's the next basic concept of economics. Opportunity cost simply means alternative forgone. It is something that we all of us and every one of us understand. Alternative forgone. Okay, opportunity cost refers to the potential value lost when one choice is made over another. The ability to lose one thing when you make a choice above the other. You forgo this one. I forgo Coke for big, because I know that the purchasing power, which is money that I have, cannot buy me Coke. And so because there is a substitute called Biggie, I decided to go for Biggie instead of Coke. That's one of a little explanation of what we call alternative forgone, opportunity cost. All right, to the next one, we want to talk about the concept of demand and supply. That's another one. Demand and supply. All right, quickly, demand by definition is the quantity of goods and services that the consumer is willing and able to buy at various prices during a specific period. The quantity of goods, the quantity the quantity of goods and services that the consumer is willing and able to buy. His willingness and his ability to buy, the purchasing power, which is the money to buy, is available. And quickly, we want to also remind you of the laws of demand. The law of demand quickly says that ceteris paribus, meaning all things being equal, as price of a good decreases, the quantity demand also increase. When the price of garri drops in the market, the number of persons that buy garri would increase. The number of amounts you intend to use in buying garri. Imagine you propose in your mind to go to the market as a Nigerian, to go to the Nigerian market to get goods and services, to buy garri, and the original price, the actual price you went home for, with you left home with, was actually 1,400 for a painter of garri, only for you to get to the market and then you found out that garri was 700 naira per paint. It means that the reduction in the price of garri would also avail you the opportunity to go home with 2 paints of garri. So that also means that all things being equal, the price of a goods or as the price of a good and services decreases, the quantity demanded for that goods and services will also increase. All right, quickly we want to talk about the concept of supply. Supply, by definition, the quantity of goods and services that a producer is willing and able to offer. The quantity of goods and services that a producer is willing and able to offer. This is demand, talks about the consumer, while supply talks about the producer. Here in this place, the consumer is willing and ready to buy, while in supply, the producer is willing and ready to supply based on the requirement, that the fact that people are able to meet up with that which they are the demands of the people. All right, a very quick one. The quantity of goods or services that producers are willing and able to offer for sale at various prices during a specific period is what we call supply. Just to make you know and remind you of some of the things that you have learned from your SS1, the basic SS1, the basic concepts of economics. All right, the next one, we want to talk about the law of supply. Ceteris paribus, all things being equal, as the price of a good or services increases, the quantity supplied increases. As the price increases, the quantity supply also increases. The producer is encouraged when the price of a good increases, and is also encouraged as much as the demand also increase. So one of the things that boosts the confidence of producers is, as they are producing, they are seeing that the demand is also rising, and so it gives them the ability to produce more. All right, we want to talk about the concept of equilibrium. The concept of equilibrium. All right, and equilibrium is the point where quantity demanded equals the quantity supplied, resulting into a stable market price. So when this is equilibrium, is when QD equals QS. For those of us who can still remember, quantity demanded equals quantity supplied. When quantity demanded equals quantity supplied, then equilibrium is achieved. All right, we want to talk about quickly the factors that influences demand. One of the factors that influence demand is, number one, price. The price of goods and services goes a long way to determine, to influence demand. If the price of a goods increases, the demand for that good might definitely reduce. But if the price of a good decreases, the demand for that good will increase. And also, the consumer's preference. The consumer's preference, what you prefer. The preference of the consumer is also one of the factors that influences demand. The consumer's preference, what the consumer is preferring. Maybe I prefer rice to beans, or probably I prefer Coke, like I said earlier, to Biggie. Some persons will not go to the market, and when they want to get some drinks, they won't go to the market to get Coke. Some of them go for options, they go for Biggie. So your preference also goes a long way to determine the demand. If in a territory or an environment, the demand for Coke is higher than Biggie, it means the supplier of Coke will and the producer of coke will make more sales in that place than the producer of biggie. So income is also one of the factors that influences demand. We see income. The salary of the consumer goes a long way to determine how much things you're purchasing you can buy. How much income you have, how much money you make goes a long way to determine what you can buy. Or also the concept of substitutes. The concept of substitutes, like I said, substitutes are options. If I can't buy coke and go for biggie because I want to quench my thirst. Yes, if I can't buy a golden penny semovita, golden penny semo, I can go for anti B semo. That's the availability of substitute, the availability of options. It goes a long way to determine to they are one of the factors that influences supply. And also complements 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 also go a long way to influence supply. All right, we also quickly want to talk about the factors that influencing supply. One of the number one is price of goods and services goes a long way to influence supply. Also, we see production cost. That's number two. Production cost, the cost of production cost. The cost of producing garri can also influence the supply of garri. The cost of producing rice can go a long way to influence the supply of rice. If the cost for production is higher, then the number of bags of rice that will be told out in a factory, in a rice mill, will reduce. But if the cost for production reduces, then the number of rice that is produced would increase. Also, we want to see technology. Technology, the third one. Technology, improvement in technology goes a long way to determine supplies. As much as there are gadgets and machines available that would help boost production, it also gives room for people to mass produce, and there will be availability of resources. The improvement in technology also goes a long way to influence supply. The fourth one is policies. Policies. I mean, this means the decrease from government, the decisions from government. It goes a long way to influence how demand and how supply would be. If the government of Nigeria can place a ban on the supply of several goods, the supply of those goods will be very, very minimal, and even the demand can even be higher than the supply generally, and it will also reduce the production will be very, very small, because the government has placed the ban on the production of some of those goods. Also, the number of sellers, the final one is the number of sellers and buyers in the market. The number of sellers and buyers in the market, and buyers in the market. The number of sellers and buyers in the market also influences. So, all right, the factors that causes a shift in the demand and supply curve. Factors that causes a shift in the demand and supply curve. Demand and supply curve. Factors that cause a shift. Change in non-price factors causes shift in demand and supply curve. A change in non-price factors used to cause a shift rather, in the demand and supply curve. All right. Market clearing prices. Market clearing prices. Market 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 clearing prices, the price at which the quantity demand equals the quantity supplied, establishing equilibrium in the market. This is a concept, one of the basic concept of economics is the market clearing price, where the price at which the quantity demand equals the quantity supplied, establishing equilibrium in the market. All right, on the final note, surplus and shortage. Surplus and shortage, that's going to be the final thing we'll be talking about. Surplus, shortage and surplus. So it occurs when quantity supplied exceeds quantity demanded. When the quantity supplied is more than the demand. If people are asking for 5 bags of rice and you are supplying them like about 15 or 20 bags of rice, it means that you are giving them surplus. All right. And on the other hand, shortage is, this shortage occurs when the quantity demanded exceeds the quantity supplied. When the quantity demanded exceeds the quantity supplied. All right, I think this is going to be the final thing we're going to be talking about on the basic concept of economics. Till I come your way again next time, we're going to be beginning and be digging deep into economics in full details and in full knowledge. I wish you best of luck. God bless you as you listen. Thank you.
Join us and subscribe on all our social media handles. Subscribe to our YouTube channels, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and all our social media handles. God bless you.